today we are discussing the pelvic floor and its importance for bladder and sexual health. So, many may be familiar with what that is, or perhaps not, but the pelvic floor has gotten increasingly more attention in the last decade or so as we are aware and have certainly been aware in the medical community its importance as the foundation or the base of our core. So, what is the pelvic floor? Well, the pelvic floor is a group of muscles that stretches from the pubic bone to the tailbone and functions to stabilize the core. The core meaning the abdominal muscles, paraspinal muscles, the muscles that align the spine, buttocks, pelvic floor, thus stabilizing the spine and the pelvic organs, including bladder and reproductive organs. These are muscles that are oftentimes neglected. Even for my exercise warriors, the pelvic floor is not always addressed. And when the pelvic floor is weak, this can present in many different ways, such as urinary incontinence, both urge and stress. So urge incontinence is that gotta go feeling. Stress incontinence, when there's a leakage of urine, when you cough, you sneeze, you laugh. Sexual dysfunction, such as erectile dysfunction in men, anorgasmia in women, difficulty reaching orgasm, chronic pelvic pain in women. The weakened pelvic floor really impacts our quality of life, affecting spinal support and thus our movement and agility, our ability to control our bowel and bladder, our ability to enjoy sex. And we should all be able to enjoy sex even into our last days. When we go out, we should go out with a bang. No pun intended. Okay, maybe that was a little bit much, but we should be able to enjoy life for the entirety of life. How do we strengthen the pelvic floor? Well, you can certainly do Kegel exercises. So if you're not familiar with this is when we contract and release the muscles of the pelvic floor. So if you can pretend that you have to pee or poop, but you don't want to. So you engage those muscles to prevent that. Also, try pelvic floor exercises or pelvic floor physical therapy. This is an option. I have included a video to complement this podcast on my YouTube channel with a yoga-based sequence specifically for the pelvic floor. So I encourage you to join me if you're so inclined to go through a series of strengthening as well as stretching exercises for the pelvic floor. It is as important to release and stretch the pelvic floor as it is to strengthen, as tight, tense muscles of the pelvic floor can trigger issues such as chronic pelvic pain and anorgasmia, difficulty reaching orgasm. Now, there is a newer technology, the Emsella, that is being used to strengthen the pelvic floor. Have you heard of this? I am quite familiar with this as I have had in my practice for a few years now. It is a FDA-cleared, non-invasive approach to rehabilitate weak pelvic floor muscles. It utilizes high FEM technology, high intensity focused electromagnetic